What's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Knicks episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. It wouldn't be always my buddy, my coach, pal, the man with the plan, the one and only John Meleka. But guys, before I ask John how he's doing, you know what the drill is, guys. If you've not subscribed to this podcast, please make sure to do so. We're on all audio platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please make sure to give us that 5-star review. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please make sure to leave us a comment. We will read it. Also, we're on YouTube now, so make sure to go over to Knicks, Jets, etc. Subscribe to the page. Make sure to hit the like button whenever you watch a video and hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. We also got winning picks weekly. All right. John, video producer Greg, they go down the NFL slate. NFL season's over, but we got March Madness. We got NBA still going on. So these guys are going to come out and give you some of their takes. So that way you guys know where to place your money and get your good returns.
March Madness, baby.
March Madness is coming up. Look, as a Knicks fan, you need to see Jaden Ivey because we need talent on this team. All right. Let's get it going.
I'm getting questions about Ty. We got to get Chip in.
No Ty. Absolutely no. No. I don't watch college basketball that much, but I watched a little bit. I watched Kentucky play. I am not good, very well-balanced player. Not really good at one area. I can't. No, we need something more than that. We need something more than that. And guys, last and certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We are there. So, John, we just watched the New York Knicks play the Philadelphia 76ers again. Before I ask your thoughts on that game, how are you doing? How are you feeling today? You're going on a trip. You're leaving me. You're going to go get some nice sunshine. Some nice weather, hopefully.
I'm going to some sunshine, hopefully nice weather. I need to get out of here because I can't stand this team. All right.
You and me both.
I can't. They had an all-star break. I need a break now from them because holy God, man, the last 3 games, the worst part about it is they played well. in a vacuum, in a bubble, like the Knicks played pretty okay these first 3 games off the all-star break, right? Like there's no question now to say this team has no talent. Like you wouldn't say that.
Oh, no.
You wouldn't say this team needs a complete overhaul, right? I mean, you wouldn't say that this team has no chance of competitiveness. They're 12th in the East, man. Like they maybe 13th at this point. Like we're bad. We are bad.
The thing is,
these 3 games just don't show that. Even though I know we lost by $1 billion today. I know.
The thing is with this team is that you're right. This doesn't need a complete overhaul. It's not. I forget which draft it was where they had the ticker showing that the Knicks need. What do they need?
Everything.
Like draft needs everything, and it's like we're not there. We're not at that point anymore. We're out of that. But there is one thing that is needed, and we've been band-aiding. We've been doing everything but solving the issue, and that's a point guard. It truly comes down to having a point guard, someone who knows how to orchestrate the offense, knows how to keep everyone calm, knows who to get the ball to, and just initiates the offense without having to score themselves and get everyone else in position to score. My God, man. Every time I watch the Knicks play, especially the good outings that they had, it's just so obvious. And that's why I get sick of watching Alec Burks. Like, sure, like I'm not even looking for a quickly to even be the solution. We already gone through that rabbit hole. Just try something different at this point. I'm just you're at this point. Tibbs is just killing me, just doing the same thing over and over. It's like, come on, man, come on, bro. I need to see something different. I need to see something different.
Julito had me dying today. Right, he's tweeting on the timeline when IQ was trying to orchestrate the defense. No one has any idea what he's talking about. It's obvious. Like he's not the point guard. Like he doesn't know how to orchestrate the offense. So you just saying, and I know where you're coming from, but you're just saying, oh yeah, I want something different. Why putting Burks in there? Yo, when Burks subbed in for IQ in the 4th quarter, he had like 4 or 5 positive plays in a row. Like whether it was on defense, whether it was on offense, and IQ was bad. Like even though
IQ had a good shooting night, I'll give you the fact that
and he had a couple in and outs too. Like even though they're technically misses, like they should have went in. Well, like he was stagnant, dude. He can't when it's crunch time, when it's the 4th quarter. Like
that's everybody though.
I know what Burks played okay. Like Burks was okay.
Burks
I know
gave you some scoring.
not down the stretch. Yeah, like as soon as he made the sub, it was okay, right? Could we at least concede that? Like
I
as
will
soon as
give
he
you
made the
that.
sub, it wasn't crazy. It wasn't like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. This is insane. Why would he do this? It was a good move, and he played well.
Dude, my point is that where are we going? I've said this. Where are we going with this team? We keep coming to the same result every game. We're losing.
Yeah.
Bergs is not going to be a solution. He's not the long-term answer. I'm not even saying Quickly's going to be the long-term point guard answer. Let him figure out his struggles on the court. You're giving Burks X amount of minutes where you can give Quickly a little bit more just to get him going, to figure something out so he can work things out. It's a lost season. We're losing chances. We're losing chances here.
I get that, but they were trying to win this game. They were trying to win this game. That's why Taj Gibson came in, right? Yeah. And that was a good sub because if I see, I mean, I remember I was joking around again in the offseason, again with Julito, talking about Randle versus Obi. I think that was that episode, right? When we're talking about putting them in together at the 4-5. And if I see that one more time, I'm going to actually start crying. If I see Obi and Randle at the 4-5, even if it's against Millsap, it just doesn't work. He has to be the 4, and that's why I love when Taj Gibson came in. I know he's old. I know Sims. I get it. Foul trouble for Mitch, but they had a chance to win this game, dude, and that's why we're so frustrated, right? Because I mean, we're Knicks fans, man. We have sat through season after season where it's been over before it started. Where winning 25 games was the end result. We know what this looks like, and this. Every single game doesn't feel like that. You know what I'm saying? If every game opens the same way we close out, you know, the usually every quarter, how we usually play the third quarter, how we close out the fourth, if that's our entire game, this would be so different. This would be like the Marty Collins, Sheldon, whatever, Sheldon Anderson Knicks. And that's just not what this is. And so
it's not that at all.
That's why we're frustrated. So like, I get why you're like, yo, what is the point of putting Taj Gibson in? What is he's old and he's not our future? What is the point of putting Alec Burks in? He's not our future. Let's just leave our guards in and see what happens, right? It's just like, we won't. It's obvious, right? If we're gonna lose anyway, but I don't think that was the mentality in that moment.
No, it's not it's not the mentality, but the thing is, dude, it's Jeff Van Gundy says it. I keep bringing it back up. We've been saying it throughout I know at least I've been saying it, and like I think I'm pretty sure you've been saying it too. Like insanity is doing the same thing over and over and looking for the same result, right? Like Jeff Van Gundy is pointing that we saw during that ESPN game, not this one, before the break. Van Gundy went in on Thibodeau saying, these guys aren't playing with effort. There's no heart. You're doing the same thing. The lineups need to change, and if you're gonna keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, I'm just at this point like if Tibbs is gonna keep running out the same rotations, same lineups, same way he's just allocating it, we're not gonna win, man. We've just seen this.
He plays Sims now, boy. He plays Sims.
Yeah, I know he's playing well because Noel is out. If Noel is healthy, he's coming in and he's still trying to win games. And at this point, like I'm watching this team, like, all right, we keep doing the same thing. Everyone's gassed by the third quarter of doom. We're back to this old shtick again. And where are we going with it? What are we actually gaining from it? At this point, unless you're just saying you keep playing these guys, we're gonna get the best draft odds, then sure, so be it. Then I guess keep going.
I was about to say at the end of the day, right? We keep losing games, like you're
gonna get the best draft odds. But no, honestly, I'd rather win and see the youth do well and grow, and because they're going to be adding to this future. There's evaluations that need to be done with Cam Reddish, Emmanuel Quickly. Like if you were looking to package Emmanuel Quickly, like, don't you want a little bit more to see what you get out of him? Like as just as a player, not even as a point guard, just as a player, like 20 minutes to Alec Burks, 31, 9 points for Burks. Sure. He gave you more today in the stats, but he didn't really have like a complete game where you're watching the game. You're like, ooh, he's making a complete impact on the game. And I'm not saying Quickly's out here just like saving the entire world, but the thing is that Quickly has more of a future here than Alec Burks. So I'd rather see what Quickly has. And that's why I'm like, with Obi Toppin and Julius Randle, I'm not too upset because it's so hard for Toppin to get some minutes. I want to see what he has too. And the issue with Toppin, with his entire team, no point guard, man. Like if you run that small ball unit with a point guard, looks a lot different. But you're asking everybody else to be their own playmaker and facilitator, and it's just ugly. So it's not going to work. I just want to see some talent evaluation from the youth because those guys potentially have a life here for a long term on the Knicks rather than Burks, rather than Fournier, rather than some of these other guys. And like for Taj, like I'm actually not upset with Taj. I don't mind having a veteran come in. You need some veteran presence on the court and someone that can do something. Yes, someone that.
But Mitch did set one nice screen today, and he got the role easily on that.
He did.
Like,
but guess who says
I hope he watches out a repeat all day.
Watch Jericho Sims. Jericho Sims is setting screens like there's no, like he sets screens, boy. That man is big.
And he jumps high for those rebounds, bro.
No, he fights. he fights, and it's like we're like Noel's contract just looks bad at this point, but that's hindsight. But I'm looking at Sims. I'm like, yo, you could have had this guy in for parts of the season if he's completely like you're gonna have growing pains. But I'm just saying
he's gonna be in our rotation next year.
Oh, for sure.
He's gonna be our backup center.
I'm just
that's good. I mean, I'm glad that we're seeing that aspect.
For sure. My frustration is just I want to see the youth play, see some development because at this point I'm just out on getting the play in because these are games that are winnable and we're not winning these winnable games. Like Philly is a winnable game. You know what I mean? Like all these games that we've seen, we could have won. Like even against the Miami Heat, we could have won, but we're not. And if we're going to keep doing the same rotation and we're going to keep losing, like it's hard for me to get behind because I just know the outcome. Like how many people did you see on the timeline saying, oh, third quarter, like that? People were just
honestly, I mean, I knew that obviously. I watched this game with my mom.
We all knew it, man. We all know it was coming.
But it happened at the end of the second. We ran out of gas at the end of the second. And I kept saying, if it becomes single digits, we are going to lose this game. I just kept saying that. If it becomes single digits, we're going to lose this game. And like right before that half ended, it became single digits. I was like, all right, that's it. It's over. Like we're going to lose this game because we can't hold anything. It's just like even in soccer, I know it's basketball, football, but like in soccer, actually in football happens a lot too, like the prevent defense. But definitely in soccer, you see when people have a lead, they start holding back. Right, because time keeps going, and then what happens once you play defensively like that? You get out of your game, you lose. That's exactly what the Knicks do. They're not hold the lead. They're not attacking anymore. And then what do? They give it to Randle, and then we get all pissed off at Randle because he just give it to him and we just watch.
But they're also gassed. Like they're also like how many? Like they're also gassed by that point because if you're playing,
RJ Barrett's not gassed. 40 minutes, 30 points, bro. He's fine. Yeah. He's shooting threes at the end of the game. That's why I don't like
but that's fine.
It's so funny though. Did you hear Tibbs' joke today?
Now, what was it?
I don't know the exact number, but they asked about it was like Will Chamberlain Day.
Oh yeah, I did see that. He's like, that's my type of player.
Yeah, because he was like 48 minutes a game.
Yeah, that is Tim's type of player. But like, I'm not upset with Barrett because Barrett missed some time for the ankle, so he can come back and play those minutes. Unlike Julius Randle, who led the league in minutes last season, then you're like, yo, bro, I'm gonna need you to do that again. And he's like, bro, relax here. Like even when you look at
we stink. Why would he do that?
Yeah. But like when you look at like Giannis and all these other top players around the league who are getting like they're capped at like 32 to 36 minutes to keep them rest and like healthy for the longevity of the season and the playoffs. Granted, the Knicks are not built like that, but we also haven't tried that either. Like I don't even know if we like I can't even say we're not built like that because what if you played Obi when he was having some good runs at the beginning of the season playing power forward, right? Where it's like, oh, maybe we could give him Randle more of a rest so he doesn't have to work so hard.
He's more of a small forward, by the way. You could put him in at small forward with Randle if you have a center, right? Like you could do Mitch.
I'd rather have Randle. I'd rather have Randle at the 3 than Obi personally, just because
whatever. That's fine as long as they're playing 3-4 and there's a center behind them because they can't be 4-5.
Yeah, Randle's more athletic to do that, but look, this team. It's funny that I thought we were going to do Jets today, but we're holding off on Jets because we're going to do a little bit more research for our free agency stuff. So you're going to get a Jets episode next week if you are a Knicks fan who's also a Jets fan. Listen to this, but
a Combine too.
Yeah, and Combine. But it was funny because you're like Knicks pod. I'm like after this game, I'm like, oh my god, we're going to talk about Knicks watching this.
I know this was a tough one, but I mean let's just try to keep the vision clear, right? We're talking about the kids playing. We're talking about, seeing what we have. Cam Reddish, what do you have, around 25 minutes today?
Yeah, he did okay. He did okay.
3 for 6, 7 points. Yeah. He needs to get his foot, in this rotation, and maybe he's making a little stamp in here. So, just like those are the little positives, right?
Those
Like
are those are the little positives. I can agree with you on that. I think it's just more so for me, like it just comes to Burks where it's like, why are we running this guy 31 minutes? He didn't shoot effectively tonight. Like he gets to the like, I know what Burks can do. I know he's out of position, quickly be out of position. All these guys would be out of position.
but
Once again,
who's
it's
not?
just
You know who's not out of position?
RJ Barrett, Julius Randle,
No.
Evan Fournier.
McBride.
Man,
McBride is the position.
1
And
minute.
he's there.
1
Yo,
minute.
1 minute ties Evan Fournier's production, regardless of the 27 minutes, which is classic.
+1 to Evan Fournier's -18.
Both have 3 points. Classic.
Oh,
Dude,
God.
McBride is.
He had some
I'm
nice
telling
passes,
you,
bro. He had
he's
some
nasty.
nice passes.
He keeps I can't believe this is my
All right,
second
let me ask you
soccer
this.
reference. This is my second soccer reference. He keeps the ball close to him, dude. He controls the ball. Like
Let me
I
ask you
can't
this.
explain it any other way. Like when he moves, the ball is just right in front of him. It's with him. He controls it. His stroke is butter. What's the issue? Just play him, dude. Just play him. Not in the fourth quarter. Like play him like with like 3.5 minutes left in the second, dude. When everyone's tired and you're about to give up the lead, just put him in. Or the third quarter when Maxey has 15 points. I don't know. Maybe put him on him.
Let me ask you this, because I watched McBride out there, and I like. Well, by the way, this is the good thing about having like a guard his size, who's a 6-footer, low center of gravity, can keep the ball low from anyone who's trying to steal it. You know, that's like Chris Paul as
He's
well.
nasty, dude.
That's
really
that height. But are you upset that he's not getting more minutes? Because he should be getting some more time on the court to see what we have there. And he comes in and he's like, he has like that life at the end, and you're like, sure. Like I could see, like, if you're watching this, like, yeah, but it's like only 1 minute. What are you really getting out of it? But I watched the 1 minute. I'm like, all right, I saw some crisp passing, some a nice jumper. Can I at least see some more of this? Like he's killing it in the G League.
Exactly. I'm about to say, like, shout out to your Westchester Knicks, your hometown team. He's been killing out there, and it's been more than a minute. It's been every single game. And he's coming off a back-to-back night, right? Didn't Westchester play yesterday? And he's coming in today, and he finally played. I mean, if you remember, Alex, the one question we were asking about changes over the All-Star break. We knew the gauntlet coming up, and we asked for the changes, right? We asked for Sims. I thought Noel was still alive. That Plantar thing was like 3 minutes.
I mean, that came out this week. It was like, what just happened?
Yeah. So the Sims thing, that's cool, but I was calling for McBride. That was my number one thing. I mean, your big thing was putting Cam Reddish in front of Fournier, which that needs to happen as well. And I was talking about putting McBride in. And I mean, after the first game, I was like, okay, fine. We're not going to do that. We played okay. We lost to the Heat. D Rose is out forever. I was like, yo, this is the time. McBride's going to come in. And I know he scratched the surface today. I know we bring in people, very, very slow, crumb by crumb. But dude, I would love to see McBride in this lineup, even if he's with Quickly, dude.
Oh,
McBride
hell yeah.
and Quickly would be nasty. Like, don't even
absolutely
keep Burks in there. Don't touch him. Don't mess. You know what I'm saying? Leave him starting. Don't freak anybody out. You got to keep his value good. But yo, just when you do the 1-2 subs, like take him out. Just take him out, and then you could flip in Cam Reddish in there too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That'd be fun,
because obviously
dude,
RJ Barrett doesn't sit down. So,
dude,
that's what I want to see.
Tell me, like, that'll be a fun lineup. That'd be like seeing McBride, IQ, Cam, Obi, and then Sims. That's a fun lineup. Or even if you don't have Cam in there yet, you have RJ. That's still a fun lineup.
It's nasty. That's nasty.
Yo,
that's honestly what I want to see. That's honestly, I really want to see a McBride in there. He's gonna change everything, dude. I'm telling you right now. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I keep watching.
Not ridiculous.
I keep watching. He looks really good, man. Ridiculous. He looks like, you know what he looks like? And I'll tell Knicks fans right now. He looks like Jalen Brunson. Like there's nothing that Jalen Brunson can do that McBride can't do. I'm sorry. Like he's not this like he's not Allen Iverson. Like what I'm trying to say. Like there's nothing that. I'm telling you, McBride.
But we need a steady hand.
Jalen Brunson.
I think for McBride to get there, that's going to take some time.
I'm just saying he could be. I'm just saying just the way he plays in Westchester. Like he's way better. Like what I'm saying when he's compared to. I know it's not his peers because we're saying he's better, but dude, he's controlling the whole team. I mean, even IQ couldn't be a point guard in the summer league. Okay, so I'm just saying. Okay, like he had an opportunity to be summer league against bad players. He couldn't do it.
You know what? This is where like I'm still all in for like bringing Jalen Brunson here. And if you want to bring in Deuce off the bench and have him as your point guard, it'd be like a Malachi Flynn situation out in Toronto. You know, you have your Fred VanVleet, and then you have Malachi Flynn who comes off the bench. I think the same thing for the
March
Knicks.
Madness, Malachi Flynn, and Madison Square Garden.
That's another guy, dude. I was like, I wanted Maxey, I wanted Malachi Flynn. Could have had
Maxey's unbelievable.
Oh, I love Maxey. Maxey.
So all right. Let me before we just talk about the next shellacking that's coming up versus the Suns here.
They don't have Book and they don't have Chris Paul though.
Before we talk about the next shellacking versus the Phoenix Suns, I know. The two players are out. We're desperate. I know it's definitely possible. But let me ask you about the centers. We talked about them a lot. And I kind of asked you this last episode, but I snuck it in. Let me get your full opinion on this, Mr. Tratacaster, Mr. Knicks fan TV, Alex. Is Mitch Robinson officially expendable with Jericho Sims out here? Because what is the difference? Like, honest to God, what is the difference between those two players? One of them wants $50 million. One of them is free.
One of them is not getting
and one could trade. One people are going to want to trade for him.
So here's my thing.
What I'm trying to say?
Oh, I feel you. I don't think I think Mitch is expendable. Like, I think he is expendable.
I'm not going to cry anymore. Before Sims, I was going to cry. If we traded Mitch, I would be in tears. Like, oh my God.
He is expendable, but not. He's expendable, but not expendable to the sense that I'd let him walk.
Definitely not.
Okay. I just want to clarify that. Like, I'd re-sign him.
I still want to get something for him.
Yes, exactly. So if you're telling me like we're getting upgraded at a point guard position, like we're gonna make a trade, he's part of that package to trade, absolutely fine with it.
Fair. Or Donovan Mitchell.
Absolutely fine with it. If you're telling me we're getting like an impact player, a point guard, like, and I mean, not just a point guard. I'm not saying like, oh, we're trading for Mike Conley. Like, if it's like Jalen Brunson, if it's like a Malcolm Brogdon, if it is like a Dame, and you're telling me like, hey, we're going to trade Mitchell Robinson, I would say, okay, fine. I'm not upset with it, but he's not like, the point is though, still resign him. He still adds value to this team, but I don't think he's getting 55. Like I know that's his max for 55. Yeah. Obviously, his agent is going to push for 55 as he should, as a good agent should do. You should always push for the max that you can get. I think he's going to get somewhere probably 4 years, 40-some million. And I think that's still a good deal. Sure. If you still want to trade him, you could trade him, but 5 years, 55.
That's only a bit more than Noel.
Yeah, it's a bit more than Noel. But I think that's what he's worth. And I think if he hits the market, according to Sean Devney of heavy.com, he reported that he talked to an NBA GM and that GM thought Mitch is worth 3 years, $33 million. So that should tell you where.
That's a nice number. 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
But that's like Robert Williams money, for the Celtics.
Robert Williams is nasty.
Robert Williams is good. And that's where, if you look at it.
I wish we had Robert Williams. Robert Williams and Harrison Barnes, man. Those are the players that really are the glue to a squad.
They get joked on a lot, but they're actually like very important players.
Man, I would love Harrison Barnes so much, but that's neither here. Everyone disagrees with me anyway, generally. So I feel like that's a status quo that I like Harrison Barnes out here.
He's a good player. He's not.
He would have been nice. He would not have been added because of his bad contract. I would have loved him on this New York Knicks team. He would get rebounds. He would hit the mid range. He would set screens. He would do everything, man. He would change up the way the offense is run. Do the spacing. Oh, we need a player like that. But
solid. He's a solid role player. He's a solid wing. Like he's honestly like Andrew Wiggins and him are probably like very comparable in that area where they're just solid players. Not exactly the same play style, but they're just good glue guys.
One plays defense, one plays offense, but
yeah. Exactly.
I agree.
Hey, Harrison Barnes is a championship winner. Okay, he helped the Warriors,
dude, and he was nasty in college too. He's been nasty I feel like since I was in like high school. You know what I mean? I feel like he's been so good for so long.
The stink with Harrison Barnes, and I think what still lives with him is that he got overpaid when he went to Dallas.
Yes.
And everyone still thinks
that max contract year.
Yeah. And everyone still thinks
that same
of him.
year, Cole Aldridge got 3 years, $55 million. He got max. He literally got Mitchell Robinson's max extension. Could you guys think about that for a second? Minnesota gave Cole Aldridge the exact max that Mitch Robinson wants, and then we're like, nah, let's bring that back. We don't know, like, you know what I'm trying to say. So like, let's just keep that in perspective. That was a crazy year of free agency.
Oh my god, was that the year that the CBA like took that massive?
Everybody,
that
was the year that
Mozgov, right?
Mozgov, Harkless, all those boys.
Yeah, everyone just got paid, and we're just like, that was like the whole reset of just what contracts are. Mozgov got 60, and you're like, what?
Yeah, that Mozgov deal still blows my mind. Cole Aldridge and Mozgov were the two that really.
But the thing is, getting back to what I was saying, like you think of like everyone's
Batum?
Still thinking like
was Batum that year? No, or he was after.
I'm not
his
sure.
Was crazy too. Yeah, he got
his was crazy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's Charlotte, bro. Charlotte will pay anybody. Like, yo, please don't leave. Stay. We need you. But for Barnes, I think that's the thing that's sticking in people's minds. Like, yo, he got paid money in Dallas and he didn't pan out. It's like, because he was never a max player. He's always been a role player. He got the ring and he ran with it. I would do that too. Okay. Now he's out in Sacramento just wasting away in Sacramento.
Actually, there's a different narrative. Actually, he hates, or apparently has a still feud with Draymond Green. Draymond Green's talking about how Harrison Barnes still doesn't like him because of the story that Draymond called KD in the car after they lost. Ooh. And then Harrison Barnes got traded for that. So they can bring in KD. So the rumor is that Barnes and Draymond do not get along, which makes me like Barnes even more. Like, you know, he's like, I don't know. Like you got.
I mean, I'd be tight too, bro. Like, yo,
yeah, but you got traded for Kevin Durant. Like, okay, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if you get traded for Kevin Durant, that's all. I can go to sleep at night. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, like, I totally he didn't just get traded for anybody. Like, I agree with you, but you were also part of the championship winning Warriors team, and you just went back to them for the 73-9 season, and you went back.
You can't even go home to go to sleep, bro. Call him in the morning. Like, you gotta do it in your car.
Yeah. Like, that's fucked up.
I agree.
That's fucked up.
I agree. All right. Speaking of that, let's talk about this Suns game on Friday. We got D-Book in protocols, which is nuts. Chris
Paul's injured with his hand.
Paul's injured. But they got Bridges, they got Ayton. I feel like we can guard Ayton. Bridges is probably containable in from this, in this type of environment, with no Booker or CP3. I mean, speaking of desperation, man. The Knicks are desperate. We're
on a
5-6-game losing streak. Are we on a 6-game losing streak right now? Like, Tibbs probably cannot sleep at night. You know what I'm trying to say? Forget me and you. Like, this guy probably cannot sleep at night. So
Knicks are on a 6-game losing streak.
Yeah, 6. So they're on this road trip.
Feels a lot longer.
All they care about is basketball. Yeah, because of All-Star break. And we had close games. We got the city jersey in Phoenix. Is this the one, Alex? Is this the one? I've been doing okay, by the way. Shout out to Winning Picks Weekly. I've been doing okay on the bands, right? I took Philly to win by 11-15 today. I also took the Knicks to win by 1-5. All right, so that kind of evened out there. I knew it wasn't going to be in the middle. I knew it was going to be a blowout or we were going to win. So I've been okay. I had the Lakers, a similar band. I feel like I'm going to take this one in a close game. It's going to be 1-5 on each side.
Definitely.
I'm going to lead Knicks this way, man. I know I was joking around, but this might be the only one. This might be actually, dude. We can go on a 4-game winning streak. We have the Suns, the Clippers, the Kings, and Dallas. I'm just saying.
It's funny. It's funny
attainable.
When you say that. It's funny to hear you say we could go on a winning streak.
This is possible.
Can we just highlight that word? Because I know people are hearing that and they're probably like, you guys are crazy.
No. It's just a possibility. No. It's just a possibility.
Exactly.
Which is insane. But that's, again, Alex, honestly, this is full circle because this is my whole point. This is why we're so annoyed with the Knicks. This is why we're so mad because it's not your 10 years ago Knicks where everything is just horrible, and
this is not the Courtney Lee, Lance Thomas.
It's not even the Quentin Richardson. Like it's just not. It's just not those Knicks.
It's not your Nate. It's not your Nate Robinson, wins. David Lee.
Yeah, straight. What was he wearing? His Grinch uniform.
Yeah.
Like it's none of that.
The kryptonite.
The kryptonite. Yeah, kryptonite. Right. So it's not that. Like I feel like we're going to these games we could actually win.
I agree. But these games,
that also comes with playing somebody like Burks at the end. So that's the catch-22. Because if you're trying to win games, you're not going to bench a veteran down the stretch when your guard is playing bad just because he's younger and you want to see how he reacts. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's the catch-22, Alex.
Yeah, look, this is another nationally televised game at 10 p.m. on Friday.
Stephen A had me dying today. Honestly, he had me dying today. He's just screaming in the pregame. Who makes the schedule? Who makes the schedule? I'm dying. I was actually dying laughing.
I have a question for that too, because this is rough. 10 o'clock for Phoenix,
especially for someone like Stephen A, with all the heat he gets to just be on national televised TV. Like they're talking about like all these random topics, and then they're just like, "Oh, how about Stephen A's Knicks?" And then they just like, I sympathize with him very much. You know what I mean? Like I feel him, dog. That's like my life. Anything like, someone said something bad happens. Oh yeah, John the Knicks. Oh John the Jets. Like oh John the lockout.
Stephen A's Knicks rants are just like the irrational portion of like a Knicks fandom that's just channeled inside. Like you let it out because you know that you watch a team and you're not having the same takes as him, like his analysis, but that feeling of just frustration, it's inside. Like I can resonate with that. But the Phoenix Knicks game, look, man, I agree with you that these are possibly the Knicks could theoretically go on this 4-game winning streak because Suns don't have Chris Paul and Booker. The Clippers, even though they're doing well right now, we beat them before. This is a manageable game. Sacramento Kings, it's Domantas Sabonis. You know Julius Randle's going to get up for that. And then Dallas, we squashed Dallas before.
That's my birthday. So we have to win.
Yeah. The Knicks, if you don't win on John's birthday, you're just doing it wrong.
Biggie Smalls Day, my birthday. Come on. If we don't win March 9th.
It's just sad. It's a sad day.
Yeah.
But like in theory,
4-game winning streak, baby. Let's go.
In theory, yes, it could. But
to
stick with this Knicks to stick with this Knicks Suns game. Honestly, I see this going to be. I agree with you. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be gritty. The Knicks could win this one. They should win this one. But I think the thing that's going to impact.
Don't say 7-game losing streak.
No, but I think the thing that we have to think about for Phoenix is their grittiness, and Jay Crowder adds to that grittiness. Like,
just don't say 7 game. Just don't say 7 game.
I'm not going to say that. I'm just not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to keep it positive. I'm going to keep it. I need to see a win. Like, I know we're tank mode. We're like, we're diving for. Dive for Ivy, right?
Is that the new slogan?
That's the new moniker out there.
Who said it? Who said it recently? I'm glad that my brain is actually blanking on the name of the quote unquote sports expert that said, and I quote, the Knicks should have lost more so they could draft Ja Morant. We were literally had the most losses.
That was Jalen Rose.
Dude, Jalen Rose. I mean, I love your show, but come on, man. Like, there's one thing
I don't know if he knows this. I don't know if he knows that season.
Team in the league.
Literally
team by a lot.
We were the worst of the. We could not have lost any more. The
and
thing that changed.
We almost didn't get like it's a guaranteed top 4, and we got the 3. Like we
guaranteed top 5. Guaranteed top 5.
Guaranteed
top 5. If you are dead last, you are guaranteed a top 5 position. Where you land is a 14% chance at that point. Somehow, Adam Silver decided to this is just me with my tinfoil hat theory. Adam Silver came in and said, you know what? The Pelicans are going to trade Anthony Davis. So we have to make sure Zion goes to New Orleans. And you know who we have to make sure that gets a good pick? We have to make sure New Orleans gets a good pick. So let's give the Lakers the 4th. We can't give them too high, but we'll give them the 4th. And then Memphis, we'll just reward you just get the natural reward.
Okay. Listen. I'll give you your tinfoil hat conspiracy for the New Orleans thing because there's David Stern. It's the fact that they were owned by the NBA. There might be some, some Dave Griffin stuff. I'm with you. Okay, I'm with you on that. Besides that, dude, why I think there's no tinfoil hat is because number one, Zion to the Knicks would have blown up, tabloids and tickets, and it would have been the perfect Knicks pick. Knicks pick number one. Get the consensus number one that every single person and their mother and their child and their scout and their favorite analyst and their favorite basketball player would say Zion Williamson is number one. The Knicks would get him. He would be injured. He would be sitting in this exact same position, and he'd be like, "Oh my goodness, how do they not pick John Morant? The Knicks are gonna Knicks it up." And then, oh my God, RJ Barrett, look, he's doing well too. That's Jimmy Butler.
If RJ was not a Knick,
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. That's why the conspiracy doesn't work. That's why the conspiracy doesn't work, because if the Knicks did get the number one, we would have been screwed.
So happy we have RJ. So happy we have RJ.
Unbelievable.
I love that pick. Love that pick.
I love him so
I love
much.
that pick when we got it, and I love that pick to this day.
G League RJ.
Yeah, that stuff's my God, people are wild. But you know what design situation reminds me of? Not the whole like drama that media loves to put with it, but it's giving me like Greg Oden vibes.
No, I hate this comparison because Zion wasn't injured in college. Greg Oden was injured in college, and that was his whole.
Zion was injured in college.
No, he had that freak foot injury when his foot went through the shoe in front of our face when it was Duke versus UNC. Greg Oden had these knees that everyone was concerned about, and then it was Kevin Durant, and he's too skinny. So that there were issues. There was no issue with Zion.
I get you.
Zion Williamson was we all made fun of him that he looked like Booger McFarlane, but that was always just a joke, and it was more of a joke that the Knicks had the worst record and missed out.
But the thing is that, and I'm saying I'm putting Greg Oden in there where first overall pick, the number 2 pick and John Morant, like there was a lot of questions. Okay. He went to Murray State. Like
he was
small school. I watched him. I was like, yo,
nasty.
I like him. I like I love John Morant when I saw him. I was like, yo, he did that in college. I was like, yo,
couldn't stop watching John Morant.
Dude, same. And people were like, ooh, maybe this is I was like, nah, that kid's a gamer. That kid's a gamer. Like you just see
people just kept trying to scare me and tell me Westbrook. And I was like, no, he's Westbrook in college, bro. Westbrook was not Westbrook in college.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference. You know what I'm trying to say? And then he was just Dennis Smith Jr. on steroids. Like I remember watching Dennis Smith Jr. in college, and then so much tape on him because that was like right around the Knicks.
Yeah.
And they both went to terrible schools. So I was like, really, but then when I compared John Morant and Dennis Smith Jr., it wasn't even close.
Yeah, it's not like
the movement.
John Morant's playmaking
off the dribble.
It was just insanity. It was like his playmaking when you watch him in that March Madness tournament was just insane. Nothing like Dennis Smith Jr. did not have that playmaking. Like the whole point is that small guard that could just score first guard.
Yeah. Last thing, shout out to DJ Augustine, your boy that you thought was about to be a Knick. That's a Laker.
True. There you go. But no, my last point about like the whole Greg was like first overall pick, like injury now, like he's injury riddled. That's the only thing I'm saying. I'm not saying like college, like the whole. It's not exact storyline.
No, I could see it. I just don't. I also don't want Zion to be Greg Oden. So
neither do I. I don't want him to be that.
That's why I'm also like refusing this. I'm refusing this analogy for that reason.
Small market team gets the top dude.
He's not Greg Oden. He can't be Greg Oden. He can't.
I hope he's not.
That would be a way bigger disappointment. That would be like, I can't even think of someone recent, because like we all knew Anthony Bennett was going to be bad. Somebody who like we like it was a guarantee. Like he was a beast in college, man. It wasn't like, it wasn't like, oh, he's decent in college. We don't know. He was must-watch college basketball TV, and that really hasn't happened. Like even John Morant, right? Even RJ Barrett, like they weren't, Cam Reddish, right? Like they weren't must-watch college basketball, and that's why it would be so crazy if he does.
I mean, honestly, the thing for like Zion,
I'm just hoping he comes back. Like here's a, you want to talk about tinfoil hat? As soon as like we call, like there's just one statement about how Becton is overweight. And all of a sudden he, the left tackle from the Jets, and all of a sudden he's the fattest person ever, and he can never play football again, and his career's over. There's one comment about Zion Williamson, and it's, oh my God, his career's over. They make a float, and during Mardi Gras, and it's over. His career's over. He's the boss. He's not going to sign the max. It's over. I'm just saying, it's a lot of narrative, because what if he's going to be cleared to play basketball next week? Now what? Now he's fine. Now he's in shape. Now he's good. Like, we saw pictures of Becton. He doesn't look 400 pounds. Like, he looks fine. He looks skinny. You
have Duke Mayweather out there saying he's still been working.
He's the one that posted the video. Like, he looks skinny. Like, he's not 400 pounds. I can see it with my eyes. So I don't know. There's a lot of narrative stuff. So I'm holding hope. I'm going to be the positive guy here. I'm holding hope. I think Zion's going to still be a player.
I still want Zion to play too, and like I want him to do well. I'm just saying, because it's just giving me that type of vibe.
Yeah.
But the thing with Zion, like what made him box office from college and must see TV, is that in this digital age where you can just market yourself, like seeing a guy his size with his type of bounce and the way that he's able just to throw down dunks with authority, that's must see TV. And then the fact that it's like, oh, well, he's just doing that in high school. Let's see college. And then he's doing it in college. It's like, oh, let's see him do that in the NBA. And we saw that last season where he was an all-star. And you're like, oh, this is real.
Dude, I went to that Pelicans Knicks game on that Sunday. His one and only game now in New York. That went to overtime. I think that was,
and he loves the Garden.
Yeah. No, oh yeah. You actually sounded just like him too. It's so funny if you're watching on YouTube, guys. And that was actually our first ever game wearing the first original Knicks City jerseys with the circle.
Yep.
He was a beast that game. He was an absolute monster that game. So I don't know. I guess I just can't get that out of my head, right? Like, that was like, we were a really good team. And then New Orleans wasn't. I think he dropped 30 plus. He had that crazy fast break, but he was a beast, dude. We couldn't, when he had the ball, we couldn't do anything about it. And that's what I'm expecting from Zion. I know we're completely off topic, but it's still kind of Knicks, right? Because it's just like narrative of like RJ versus Ja versus Zion, and it looks like the narrative it's inevitable, bro. It's inevitable. We're going back to the lottery.
We're starting it, okay?
Going back.
Worldwide West is doing it. I see it, man. I see the vision. He got
D Mitch.
Before this, we drafted RJ. West comes in the building with Leon, and he's like, all right, let's go get Cam. We'll get Cam Reddish on the team. We got one more Infinity Stone to collect. We got to get Zion in here.
Just can't trade for him. I don't want to trade for him.
You're going to have to trade for him. He's going to be a restricted free agent.
Yeah, no thanks.
Look, if he wants to force his way out of New Orleans, he can easily force his way out.
You talked about it, the new free agency. You sign and you force.
But he can. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he wants his way out, like.
Listen, my brother really said it to me, and I wholeheartedly agreed. We had this conversation. It was most specifically about Luka, but also it was kind of about Zion, right? These players that we love, we want to be Knicks, and they love New York, obviously.
Yeah.
If a player does not sign the max rookie extension, or if he's
you're insane.
I don't want him on my team because he's mentally insufficient. Like he can't. He doesn't. Something.
But that's wrong. The thing. Like, you're gonna have to trade for these guys at some point. So
yeah, we'll see.
And the thing is, I don't even see.
Give me Dame, bro. If you're gonna tell me that Mitch Burke's IQ is not enough for Dame, come on, bro. We'll take a pick. That's a lot. You guys stink. What'd you get for CJ McCollum? Nobody, bro. I think that I know everyone's talking Donovan Mitchell because he's gonna force his way out as well when they get knocked out early.
I think they're looking for someone young, man. I think if you look at this roster.
I'm just scared. Yeah, just RJ can't go anywhere, and they're gonna want to replace.
But if you're looking at this roster, right, most of those guys are like 23 and under, like that. That makes up this roster.
Let me ask you a question.
They're thinking
we're so off
topic.
Let me ask you a question because he's your boy. Donovan Mitchell and RJ Barrett. Is that what, a 2-3 on a court? How are we doing that?
Yeah, it's a 2-3.
2-3 and the point guard.
Yeah.
Or no? So you're gonna have a point guard and Mitchell?
Yep.
Because he's been bringing up the ball up. Okay, cool.
The thing about Mitchell, though, is that he's so versatile that if you take a point guard off, he can play a little bit of point.
It needs to be like literally Rajon Rondo. That needs to be the point guard. Someone who literally does not know how to shoot. If you have Donovan Mitchell and
his name's Jalen Brunson, bro.
Jalen Brunson, true.
This is what I'm saying. Like, we don't need like, who do you want to feature on this team? If you want to feature RJ, you don't need a score first point guard like Dame.
Yeah, you're right. We never need a score first point guard.
If you just want some consistent ball movement, a guy that can organize, facilitate, that's why I want Jalen Brunson. Yes. If you want to watch RJ keep getting 40, you can't have Dame next to him. It's not going to work.
Yes.
You're going to have somebody who's like, yo, Move the hell over here. Get RJ a clear path so he can just drive. Easy from the left side.
You heard it here, folks. Alex wants Dennis Schroeder on the Knicks.
Okay, let's relax there. Let's relax. Relax. As our guy Mitch would say, John, relax.
With the eyes.
Relax.
On that note,
this is a good pod. It was a lot of fun. But thank you everyone for tuning in for another Knicks episode.
The Knicks are not.
The Knicks are not. Hopefully we're entertaining you guys. Hopefully you guys come here for some pure entertainment and love our basketball takes and just discussions outside of the Knicks, because at this point, this is what they've given us. We have to go to enjoying the league wide and go back to our league wide talks. Because that's the state of the New York Knicks, everybody. That is the state of affairs around here. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in for another Knicks episode of the Knicks Shits, Etc. podcast. You know what to do. Please make sure to go subscribe to this podcast. We're on all audio platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give us that 5-star review. And if you listen to us on Apple, please make sure to leave a comment. We're also on YouTube now, so make sure to go find the page, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. And when you watch a video, just hit the like button. It's a kind thing to do. We appreciate it. And if you want to leave a comment, we'll respond back. Don't you worry. Also, while you're over there, we got winning picks weekly. Okay. John, video producer Greg, they go down the NFL slate. We got March Madness. We got NBA action. They're going to come through. They're going to do this. They're going to hold it down for you guys. That way you can make the right investment and get good returns. All right. And then last and certainly not least, we're on all social media platforms. We're on, whoa, I was about to go off way different. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we are there. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in for another Knicks episode of the Knicks Shits, Etc. podcast. We out.
Start McBride. Let's go Knicks.